A lengthy Scottsbluff County Board of Commissioners meeting last night results in the termination of a department head. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the Scottsbluff County Board voted 3-2 Monday night in favor of terminating Road Superintendent Linda Grummert following an open personnel discussion that evolved at times into terse exchanges that have characterized interaction between the two for more than a year. The decision came after about 90 minutes, during which commissioners accused Grummert of disrespectful conduct when dealing with employees, vendors, and the board. Grummert refuted having the discussion in a closed session, and at the start of her remarks said she could not disagree. It's been a difficult year for all.
Where you feel I'm not respectful, I feel equally I'm not respected, and I have not been respected since the day Russ Reisig arrived on the board, and he made it very clear by contacting my assistant without contacting me. Complaints are given to Russ, and he keeps the complaints to himself. There's no record that is kept of them.
Much of the discussion centered around the Stiegel Road change order controversy and processes and policies related to equipment damage and maintenance, but board members kept returning to Grummert's relations with staff, vendors, other officials, and even the board itself, something Board Chair Ken Meyer described as caustic.
When I hear that the employees in the roads department can't stand the commissioners, really? Where did that come from, Linda? I know where it came from because several of them have told us where it came from. I mentioned this at an earlier meeting. If they're not sitting in this board meeting and knowing what's going on, it is being conveyed to them by whoever is here.
Meyer eventually entertained a motion to retain Grummert, subject to making the recommended improvements and taking in part training, with a further review in 60 days, but that motion only garnered support from Mark Harris and Charlie Knapper. Reisig then moved to terminate, and that motion was successful with the support of Knapper and Reichert. Assistant Road Superintendent Steve Baird was then named the interim superintendent, pending results of a search for a new top administrator for the department. Well, Western Nebraska Community College wants to encourage all to jumpstart their college education with the Summer Free Scholarship Program, which is designed to allow students to take up to 2 classes during the summer semester for free. Current WNCC students, including part-time, online, and College Now dual credit students, are all encouraged to apply. Additionally, Summer Free is open to former students who have previously attended WNCC but did not graduate. The scholarship covers tuition and fees for 2 courses, as well as a $200 scholarship for textbooks that can be used at Buddy's Book and Bistro. The only cost that will land on a student are any instructional materials. Students interested in the Summer Free Scholarship must fill out an application at go.wncc.edu/summerfree by Friday, May 6th. We'll have more news right after this.
The journey of a dream becoming reality. When we're young, a dream develops into a passion. That passion continues to manifest and grows as you do. It becomes all you want to do and all you want to be. It gives you direction. It drives you. Then, your dream has become a reality. When that dream is ready to be reality, Platte Valley Bank will be with you every step of the way.
Back. A 68-year-old Cheyenne man has been arrested after allegedly sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl at his property in Banner County last year. Randy Soule turned himself in on Friday after learning there was an active arrest warrant charging him with attempted first-degree sexual assault and related charges. Court records say the girl worked for Soule, cleaning up the property he owned in Harrisburg. During that time, he reportedly licked the back of her neck, groped her, and suggested she perform acts sexual in nature. Soule was able to post 10% of his $300,000 bond, and an arraignment date has yet to be set. Well, the United Way of Western Nebraska Board of Directors has announced that Stephanie Goschel has taken the position of Director of Development. She has been with the Scottsville Public Schools District with their Sixpence program since 2019 and has a strong passion for children and families and is looking forward to serving the communities of Western Nebraska in her role as Director of Development. Board President Jason Rogers says he knew that she would be an important part of fulfilling United Way's mission to unite people and resources of Western Nebraska to build a stronger, healthier, and more compassionate community. Goschel began her position on March 28th and will continue to be based in the Scottsbluff United Way office. And Governor Pete Ricketts has announced a special election for the open seat in Nebraska's 1st Congressional District will take place on June 28th. The election is being held due to the resignation of Representative Jeff Fortenberry at the end of March. According to Secretary of State Bob Ebnen, that means 3 contests for the 1st Congressional District this year will be held: the May primary, the June special election, and then the general election in November. April 22nd is the deadline for submission of candidate names and filing fees by the Republican and Democratic parties for the special election ballot. Well, coming after the break, windy, windy, windy. It was a heck of a day out there. Bill Boyer what you can tell you what you can expect for the rest of the week right after this.
The Verizon family is full of frowns because they're spending too much for their unlimited data and phones, while the Viero family is all smiles because they're getting 4 lines of unlimited data with 2 free Apple iPhone SE for mom and dad and 2 free LG K31 smartphones for the kids, all for just $100 a month. They're saving so much, they're able to get Fido. Find out how you can too at Viero.com or your nearest Viero store. Viero Wireless, keeping you connected.
HydroZEN. Unplug and recharge. What is HydroZEN? It's total body relaxation. It's total body recharge. It's floating weightless on water. Floating your aches, pains, stresses, and worries away. HydroZEN is a revolutionary new therapy using Epsom salt saturated water as a way to relax and rejuvenate your body. And it's now available in Scottsbluff. It is for most ages and has many benefits to the mind and body. Visit hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, as we continue to look across the area this evening, it's going to be windy as we go through the evening. Windy as we start the day tomorrow, and windy right on through the day tomorrow. We continue to have high wind warnings out there across the area. Very windy tomorrow, even into Thursday now. It's going to turn warmer Friday, Saturday before another system comes in next week. 73 yesterday. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? After where we got to this morning, we were a huge drop in temperatures out there right around that 5 a.m. time frame as the cold front started plowing through the central portions of the panel. Nothing in the rain gauge. Well, here we go. Let's take a look at some of these peak wind gusts so far today. Banner Road and Highway 71. Now, that is going to be about 5-6 miles northeast of Harrisburg. That's the big winner here locally at 71 miles an hour. Scottsbluff National Monument had a 69-mile-an-hour wind gust, 68 at the airport in Alliance, 64 at the Scottsbluff Airport. That just after 5 a.m. this morning in the Douglas Airport at a 62-mile-an-hour wind gust, and many other locations in the 50s to low 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as well. The colder air has arrived. We're in the 40s here across the region. Not much going on out there other than a lot of wind. Northwest winds blowing in that cold air, 20 to 30 sustained, gusts 40, 50, not out of the question. Some closing in on 60. These aren't going to go anywhere for a period of time. As we look across the area, we've got high wind warnings, lots of them out there across the region too. These go through tomorrow here for our area. Again, a large swath of high wind warnings that are going to continue. And this expands beyond just our area. As you could see, high wind warnings cover a huge portion of the United States, at least in the central part of the United States. and we have quite a bit of wind encompassing a large portion of Nebraska. This is where we're going overnight. You'll notice winds come down a little into that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. Overnight, still winds gusting to 30 to 35, and then quickly in the morning, by the time you get up, winds gusts going to increase right through the day tomorrow, and by 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow through most of the rest of the day, we're dealing with a period of 50-plus mile-an-hour winds that are going to be around, in some areas going to gust higher than that. Tomorrow, in many cases, may be slightly windier than where we were today. I don't think we'll see nearly as many showers around. In fact, clouds are going to move out of the region. It's just going to get downright windy here across the area and cold. The temperatures tonight only in the 20s to low 30s. Wind chill is going to be significantly colder than that. Tomorrow, a few clouds, especially as we go through the middle portion of the day. Rain and snow showers, I think, going to be confined into the morning hours and mostly in northern portions of the region. That's about it. And we're going to be dealing with just a persistent northwesterly flow blowing in that's cold air until that low pressure system moves out. We're not moving much in the way of winds. 40 to 50 for highs tomorrow. Most of us in the low to mid 40s. Not much coming in terms of precip. Any of that's going to be light and mainly in the sand hills. A few hundredths possible there. And snowfall totals certainly going to be light. Heavier snowfall totals. We do have actually some winter storm warnings posted up to the high country west of Rapid City. Otherwise, everybody else not expecting to get much at all. So we take a look at our forecast for tonight. Still windy, partly cloudy, 31 for a low. Winds will decrease a little overnight, but that's it. Tomorrow, high wind warnings. Gusts could be 65, 70, 75, not out of the question at times. Only in the mid and upper 40s, maybe the low 50s on Thursday, still windy. Then Friday, we get into the 60s, 70s by Saturday. We turn windy again on Sunday, bring in some more rain, and rain turning to snow Sunday night, or Monday night rather, into Tuesday. And look at temps by next Tuesday, only back into the 40s. We may be in the 30s by the middle part of next week as well, as a stronger system arrives in the region.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Global food security has become a bigger topic as the war in Ukraine continues. Since Ukraine provides significant amount of the world's wheat, corn, barley, and sunflower oil. In a letter signed by 7 organizations, including the American Farm Bureau Federation, the groups are urging the USDA to release and allow more CRP flexibility. John Burge, State Executive Director at the Nebraska USDA Farm Service Agency, says,
well, first of all, there are no real serious conversations to that effect happening right now. Taking CRP lands out of production in order to address maybe some supply concerns with what's going on in Ukraine.
Burge says many think 1 acre of CRP land would equal 1 acre of cropland.
And that's just not quite true. Even when we don't have drought, there is what is called slippage. And because these are not really highly productive lands, you're going to see only about half of the production that you would see in an acre of normal croplands out of one of these CRP acres that you may be taking out.
Finding a solution for global food security is not an easy one. Producers know having the land available to plant is only one part of the solution. The inputs and costs to plant more acres would be another challenge, along with the weather and a continuing drought in some areas.
let's take a look what's happening on today's community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
Western CPAP Supply has earned an impeccable professional reputation within the Wyoming and Western Nebraska region. Helping you get a good night's sleep is our passion. Our amazing team understands sleep disorders from a personal and professional level. We use CPAPs and BiPAPs too, and sometimes it just helps to work with people who share common ground. Our accredited CPAP supply company is approved by Medicare and Medicaid and is in network with every major insurance company in the region. Western CPAP Supply. We're here to help.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, in exactly 1 month, downtown Scottsbluff will be the place to be for the annual Cinco de Mayo celebrations. Last night, the Scottsbluff City Council approved a community festival permit for the Downtown Scottsbluff Association's event, and Economic Development Director Star Lael says this year's event will be bigger and better.
Last year was our first try for a Cinco de Mayo event, and it went very, very well, kind of exceeded our expectations. So this year we're adding a few events. The market, which will be between 17th and 18th Street. The car show, which we had last year, will be between 18th and 19th Street. And so we're asking that 2 blocks of Broadway be closed off between 17th and 19th.
The council also signed off on special designated liquor licenses for Flyover Brewing Company to sell beer, Rosita's to sell margaritas, and Oasis Nightclub to sell cocktails. Activities for this year's celebration also include piñata breaking, face painting, and a community canvas with jars to paint, and even a salsa contest. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.